confidence within yourself, that you know who you are, you know what you stand for, and I feel like when you are that way, people are drawn to you and they see you as not so much just beautiful, they see that you glow in who you are. And I think that's the definition of beauty.
So the reason why I ask you that is because you're in the beauty industry. Why don't you tell people a little bit about what you do and how long you've been doing it?
So I'm a hairstylist, and I have been doing it now for 4 years. And it's actually been a dream of mine to be a hairstylist ever since I was 12 years old. And living that dream, and I love it.
What do you love about your career? Because this special is about, you know, the beauty industry and beauty standards. So what was it about becoming a part of this professional industry that was attractive to you?
I remembered whenever I was younger, my mom, who she was a master esthetician, we were always around the salon life, and I was introduced to that very early on when I would go get my hair done. I would grow out my hair super long, and then I would chop it super short because I loved the extremes. And I remembered just always feeling excited for the new me, just like a new transformation. And every haircut that I got was a transformation of some sort. And it always made me feel really good. And I always felt beautiful. I always loved my hair because of that. And so that's kind of what I appreciate about hairstylists, is that they are in this industry to help you feel good about yourself, but also to help your hair dreams come true. And whatever they want, I want to give them that. And sometimes I think something else will look best on them and would help them feel that confidence and feel like they like to look at themselves in the mirror. Anything to help them. And if they trust me, which I'm always grateful for when they trust me, I like to surprise them and wow them and help them feel like, wow, I didn't even think of that. That looks amazing. They like start, I see them like lift their shoulders and they start posing, and I'm like, yes, that's what I wanted.
I love that you use the word transformation. So can you talk a little bit more about the kind of transformation you're talking about?
I have seen with many men and women, their hair that I've done, that they come in and they kind of seem kind of like heavy, and they kind of talk about their hair like they're hunched over. They kind of try to cover a little bit of themselves, or they're unsure, so it's kind of like that hovering shoulders in kind of way. And I noticed their facial expressions, I noticed just kind of how they talk about themselves too. Oh, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot of everything's, it almost like they are I don't like me. It's like everything just goes to I don't like me. So they come in, they want to like themselves. And so that transformation at the end, where I give them that haircut that they wanted, or the highlights that they wanted, or the color that they wanted, I see them transform into this person where it's like their shoulders, they grow taller, they stand chin up, and you see their eyes just glow up, and sometimes they get teary-eyed, and you see them transform into that confident self that was in there, but they just needed a little extra help to see that that was them the whole time. It's just they didn't see it, but I knew it was in them, and so it was like that transformation I love to help with.
So how do you recognize what they've got inside? Is that something they teach in school, or is this just something you've developed over time?
Honestly, in school we did hear a lot about how we are a service industry, and so many people who become hairstylists, we are kind of stereotypical to being artistic, to being kind of space cadets, where our minds kind of wander, maybe not the best at math. And it's true, math is very hard for me. But we have a lot of these stigmas on hairstylists that it's so funny. We talk about it in hair school and like joke with each other about it. Like, oh yeah, that's so me. I'm so emotional with my work and I pour my soul into it. We get kind of daydreamy or super talkative, super out there, or they're super quiet. And it's just funny. We have all these extremes. And they talked about how it's easy to keep giving and giving and giving. And I think just over time, I just kind of naturally, because I would give so much of myself being vulnerable to my clients, ever since hair school, every client walked in my chair, I would give kind of like the vulnerable me, the raw me, and I think it helped them to see that I wasn't gonna judge who they were. I wasn't gonna, because many people would come to me ever since even in hair school, they would say they would go to a hairstylist and they felt like they couldn't really talk to their hairstylist just because it's the professional and then you're getting your hair done. And I think that I always wanted it to be different with my business and with my clientele.
So on social media, there's a lot of hype, which some of it is great. I'm questioning some of the other comments that I see, especially for young people, on body positivity. You know, in your industry, that is your business, is to help people look their best and feel their best. What are your thoughts about this body positivity movement that we see in television and on social media?
I am really happy that it's become more extremely spoken now than ever before, because now the younger generations, and even us, like I'm a millennial, and anybody else can feel like finally we don't have to try so hard to look like that celebrity, or it's no longer you have to be in this box to be beautiful. And I'm really happy that it's really out there now, and it's very loud, and people are just outspoken now, because then more and more people can feel like, oh, I love the way they look, but I also love the way I look, or wow, we have the same hair. And there's more, photography for businesses. I love going to for makeup, or just all those shops for clothes, and I'm seeing all these different pictures of different people and different cultures, and I love it. I'm just thinking to myself, this is amazing. It just feels so real now. I love that.
What do you mean by real?
More like real life, what I see in real life. I feel like, for many years you would only see one type of person on the big screens or on TV. And I'm not gonna lie, I never felt or questioned, I don't really look like her, and because I'm brunette, or I'm from a different culture background and she looks different than me. I actually never had that experience, but I've always been very much around different cultures all growing up, or when we would travel, we traveled a lot growing up, that when I see different people that look different, I was always just used to that, and that was real life to me. And so now seeing that on advertisements, that's real life to me. I'm like, yes, everybody is included in this type of advertisement for beauty for all people who look different and are made different, have different body types, have different face structures, different hair. And I love it so much that it's normalizing, because that is real life to me.
As a follow-up to that, we've heard a lot as well about these unattainable beauty standards. As a beauty expert in the industry right now, as a professional, what do you think are the unattainable beauty standards that are referenced a lot?
In the industry, I see a lot of different clientele. And I love people watching. It's a habit of mine. I just love to observe. And I feel like I've always been super observant of people, of places, just anything in general. And I always have found it interesting seeing the stark difference with someone who probably doesn't wear a lot of makeup, wears their hair natural probably every day, and then they have a nice style where it's just very basic and just basic neutrals, or they're wearing their favorite pair of sneakers that are worn. You can kind of see who they are right away. And there's that client, and then you'll see a very stark difference with another client that they already did their hair before coming to the salon, or they wear a full makeup set, or a full face of makeup, which has the foundation, the mascara, that beautiful eyeshadow colors. They wear the best that they can of their clothing style, which is usually very pretty and very much just gorgeous. It's like, wow, that's a really cute outfit. And then you see the difference with the two clients. And I'm not gonna lie, I've always been drawn to the more natural. I've always been drawn to observe those who are just more natural. You see them up front, because when I see people who are always not overdressed, I don't believe that's a thing to be overdressed. You can dress up however you want to any occasion, but people who are more done up and more just confident and more creative with their outfits and their makeup and their hair, I always try to picture how they look right before they look like that. So my new motto, for a couple of years now, I've been kind of learning more about the word effortless. I very much am trying so hard to strive for that effortless look, and that's been on trend, especially on Pinterest. I love Pinterest. It's an addiction. And that has always been a trend that pops up, is effortless natural makeup or effortless hairstyle. And you see the video of like the natural makeup and I'm like, that was not very effortless, but it looks gorgeous. And I'm like, okay, I want to break that down. Or like that hairstyle, it's, oh, that slow-mo, or not slow-mo, that pieced out video for like that effortless look, that is so interesting. That took them probably an hour to do that effortless look. And so I'm trying to just learn more about that word, and especially in my own life, when I do my makeup, when I do my hair, I think to myself, is this effortless? Is this easy? And I had to force myself to say it's not exactly what I wanted, but you know what? It's effortless. And then I walk out the door.
So effortless meaning not perfect. Can you speak to the beauty standards or the negative messaging within your industry that can have an impact on people's mental health?
I feel like my observations, watching certain shows about modeling or hairstylist shows or fashion shows, I have noticed that there is, it's a lot better now, but there is, what is it called? An element of perfection, whether that means the perfect model, the perfect hair, the perfect makeup, or the perfect outfit. I love the word perfect because although it can be or almost feels impossible to achieve every single day, I love that it's pretty much a positive word of you're trying to become something that you're not. And I like focusing on that. I like focusing on I'm going to strive to be a better me, not so much something else that's not me. And with the beauty industry, I'm not gonna lie, I mean, most clients come in my chair, they show me a really nice picture of this hairstyle and this, I'm not gonna lie, beautiful, beautiful women. And they look at them and they're like, can you make me look like her? All of it. And you know, you kind of chuckle with them but I always tell them, I'm gonna make you look like you. Like, you're gonna love the way you look. And I see their vision and I'm like, okay, tell me what you love about that hair. Because, you know, we're not gonna, I mean, I make it realistic, like, and they know they're not gonna look like this beautiful girl that's modeling her beautiful hair that she just got done. But at the very end, I'll tell them they look sexy, they look gorgeous, they are amazing, and I'll be a really obnoxious hype girl, and like my coworkers are like, yes, I'll be yelling, you are so sexy, and I like embarrass them, and they start blushing, and I do the weird like, ooh, oh yeah, pose, yes, because I just want to make them smile and make them feel like, yeah, they can flip their hair because they're confident now, or they can love how they look with their new hair. And you know, they may not look like that picture on the phone, they may not look like that model on the phone, but they look dang good just the way they are.
Do you feel like the clients that you see are struggling, some of them might be struggling with body image issues? I mean, in your industry, the beauty industry, there's got to be a measure of clientele that might be struggling with body image issues and that impacting their mental health. What do you see directly with mental health?
I think it's a direct correlation with mental health and social media, just because I'll see clients who come in my chair and they bring up how they need a different cut to hide their maybe rounder face, or they say, oh, I've gained so much weight, I need a haircut that will look good so I don't look fat. I need you know, something to look good And sometimes they just want to be completely different, and then the same thing, like, can you make me look like this girl? And they'll make a joke like, I want her face. And then it's really hard for me because I've been where they are. I've been there where you just never feel like you like how you look. And I remembered feeling I would look in the mirror and just be so upset and just look at myself, and I'm just like not attracted to the way I look at all. And that was for many, 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 many years, too long. And I feel when those women and sometimes men have those really down negative things to say about themselves, because I remember thinking I've been there, and it really hurts to talk like that. And I know how they feel, because that means there's something going on there. And I think it correlates with what we see on our social media, because it's very easy to edit a certain photo of yourself with different apps that have really cool editing. And I think it's kind of a dangerous tool now that's on there, especially most of the cute filters that I like. I noticed that now they change the way your face looks, and it bothers me because I'm like, oh, like that's a really cool filter. Like I love how it's kind of like faded. It looks like a vintage photo. It makes my skin a little tanner, like I've been in the sun, because in the winter I'm just a little bit more pale. But and then I notice that's not my lip shape, or that's not how my nose looks, or oh, that changed my eye shape completely. And it bothers me so much because I want people to see me for how I look. And then same for anybody else. I want everybody to see themselves for who they are and show people around them, especially on social media, that this is them, or that they are who they are, and they don't have to feel like they have to wear that filter to change their face, or they can feel like they can look in the mirror and say, I look really pretty and I really like the way I look.
What was the one moment that changed how you moved forward from a place of maybe struggling with your body image to, you know what, this is my new vision about how things are going to look and how I'm going to feel about things moving forward? Is there a moment that you could zero in on?
I think it was just recently that I finally gave myself a little kick in the butt. I had to shake off everything that I always felt about myself and the low self-esteem that I had, just because somebody made a comment about something different about me that was different than them. And that was with my body. I remembered always, being picked on because I had hairy legs. And I have a darker coloration from my background being Brazilian. And so my hair on my legs are always darker than those around me, because I was around a lot of people that were blonde, and you couldn't tell that they had the little fuzz on their legs. And then, coming home crying to my mom that I was made fun for that, and she would help me shave my legs so that they could shut their mouths. And then it fast forwards to, I was so skinny. I was this itty bitty skinny girl just because I was growing lengthwise first. And I came from, I feel like my mom had that same body type where you just kind of grow taller and you just thin out first, and then over time we just kind of blossomed differently as we got older. Like the curves came in when I was in my early 20s, but it was a while before it did. And being made fun of for having smaller breast size, which has always been the joke of like the friend group or just girls in general. And then it was interesting that I would be looked at when like walking in around the mall, and modeling agencies would come up and say, hey, have you ever tried modeling? Or a lot of other people who were maybe older than me, have you ever tried modeling? Like, you would be the perfect model. You're tall and thin, and you have a beautiful face structure. And I would like, it's just so, it was crazy how confusing it was. And I think I was just always confused because of that. I always struggled because I was so confused. I was being maybe made fun of for one thing, but then also complimented for that same thing. Social media became the new invention of the time. I remembered loving it and being so excited that it was this new way to post photos. I loved taking pictures with my friends and of myself or of family and memories. And I've always been drawn to memories that way. And then fast forward years later, it turned into, I need to make the perfect post with this photo, or I need to retake that. That picture isn't perfect enough, or that picture isn't good enough for my page or for my Instagram. Or it became this, I need to do better. I need to retake these pictures. And then finally, it was when I started comparing myself. Wow, she looks so good in those pictures. When I take pictures of myself, I don't look like that. Or, oh, I like how her hair just looks like that so naturally. But it's so funny because we all know it's not really natural. They had to do something to it. But, you know, back then I was pretty young, and, you know, you don't really think about it. So it was, sure enough, it was the major effect. And I remembered when I permanently deleted my social media, I kind of had the withdrawals, and that was really interesting to feel. I was like, what am I supposed to do now? I don't know. And I'm thinking to myself, now, if the me now was there with the me then, I could have been like, you can go anywhere you want, and you don't have to worry about posting a picture about it. That's a good thing. I wish I was there to tell myself. But it took that time for me to learn and grow that it's not important to show everybody what I'm doing and how I look, but it's okay to be in those moments and not share them with anybody. Or I can share them now in private with my husband now, and we can go places. And now my focus is, oh, let's get a picture here, and this is going to be really perfect for our photo book. And it's just memories, just how I always wanted, just our memories.
I love how you've reframed something that, you know, taking a photo isn't a bad thing.
Yes.
Or wanting to look good in a photo isn't a bad thing. But I think what I'm hearing you say is it had gotten to a place where it wasn't healthy for you.
Yeah.
And you recognized it and then fixed it, whatever that fixing meant for you. What happened in the withdrawal period? Can you talk a little bit about that? What did it feel like? What you said it surprised you. Can you talk a little bit more about what that was like?
Oh my goodness. It surprised me that I was so Because there's a time period when you're permanently deleting your social media, whatever platform it is, that it gives you a time where you can still log in, and once you log in, it'll keep it. And man, I was like, do I really want to do this? How many times did I put my phone up and I was about to log in to just check everything again? And I knew as soon as I type in again that I'm gonna be in there again, it's not gonna permanently delete it. And then I'll just probably draw it off for longer and longer and longer. And so I remembered feeling that I would pick up my phone. It was always the pick up your phone to check. And I would pick up my phone, and then instead of going there, go do something else. Maybe go through my own pictures, or maybe go on a game, or listen to music, or do online shopping. It's just anything to drive me away from going back in to the social media.
What advice would you give your younger self as you look back on the things that you have overcome and grown from? What would you tell that little girl?
If I could go back in time and tell that younger self anything, I would tell her that it's going to be a bumpy ride. And I would tell her that I am really grateful for the bumps along the way, because it made me into who I am today. And I would tell her to be brave. Be brave and have courage that it's all gonna work out, and stay true to how you feel in your heart about everything. And I would tell her, I know that if you stay true to what you feel in your heart, then you're gonna love the life that you live.